What is going on, everyone? It's Ultimate Spy 53 here, and welcome to another episode of Reviewed number 93. And today, I'm going to be reviewing the movie The Social Network. So my thoughts on this movie. Well, it was very interesting. That's all I really can say about The Social Network. It was a very interesting movie because it's about the founding of Facebook, essentially. That's just the idea of it. It's about the invention of Facebook and where it came from. I mean, the original idea is it was like this dating app thing where it was like picking up the hottest girl in this where where the kids were living at the time. And then it became the Facebook, and then it ended up becoming um, Facebook. It's honestly just a really cool idea, and the cast is just. I was very surprised when I first saw it. I mean, I haven't seen this in a long time, but until recently, of course. But it came out 7 years ago in 2010. It's a fairly good movie, actually. It's like 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is actually freaking darn good. Pretty good cast. Got Jesse Eisenberg, who's been in quite a few movies, actually. He's in noticeably a lot of movies. And it also had Andrew Garfield, who he actually played a Spider-Man in the first reboot, the immediate Spider-Man, which I did not like at all. I didn't hate him, but I didn't like him. That's why I haven't done a review of those movies, because I'm not going to, because they're terrible. But he played Peter Parker in those movies, and it also is Justin Timberlake, Armie Hammer, who played a dual role. It also had like Rooney Mara, who was basically the ex-girlfriend of Mark Zuckerberg in this movie. I don't know how much of an involvement the real Mark Zuckerberg was in this movie. I have no idea, but I want to say that that Esberg had a meeting with him or something. I don't know what really happened, but um, yeah, honestly, it's a really good movie with a lot of narratives of different things, especially with showing how Facebook is created and eventually being going into a lot of the lawsuits of what happened when Mark Zuckerberg took the idea of the other people who were they were working together to make a website, and originally I think it was based off of FaceMesh, and then it became Facebook, and then it became just Facebook, and then become a whole company. And kind of like how Jobs, the movie Jobs, about Steve Jobs, kind of like that in a way, where I mean different scenario, but it's the same idea where you basically start from this simple thing, and then you get to this company. In that movie, it was like like 70s, um, I don't know, it was like a 70s apartment and becoming a company, and the same thing with here, where they started literally in a I want to say it was a dorm apartment, and eventually became a company. And that was a really interesting thing. Was like how that it progressed to become what it is. And that was the really cool part about it. Just the cast and overall. Of course, you have like how you have Mark Zuckerberg portrayed by Jesse Eisenberg, who is this fast talking actor. He's very talented. You can kind of think about him being the middle evolution of actors. Michael Cera, and like Michael Cera is the first evolution. Um, Jesse Eisenberg is the second, and then Bruce was the third. I saw that on Facebook. It was a funny thing, but I thought it was good. I don't really know which the characters are, but apparently this is based on a book, so apparently these characters are the way they're done in this movie was particularly good, especially the actors who played them. I like the actors who played them because I recognize a lot of them, and I like that movies that do that. I mean, I've already seen this before, but I hadn't seen it in a long time, and I knew it was a movie that would be really interesting because it's just literally about the creation of Facebook, and that's really interesting because I use Facebook a lot. I use Facebook 24, well, not 24/7, but I use it a lot. I don't know how much I use Facebook, but I use it a lot. I'm often on it a lot. Not all the time, no, but I'm on it a lot, and I can see why a movie like this was made to like tell the story of how Facebook was created, and it's fairly interesting because not a lot of movies tell the story about how each thing is made. I mean, there's the founder with Mickey there's Steve Jobs slash Jobs, both movies, but based off of the creation of Apple, and Steve Jobs, how he created the Apple company, and then of course the Social Network, which is literally the first movie about the creation of Facebook. And I thought it was really interesting because I'm not really a big biographical documentary type. I mean, it technically is a documentary, but not really. It does have more it has more dramatic stuff in it. A lot of lawsuit stuff in it. A lot of I wouldn't say political, but a lot of it is where Mark Zuckerberg is in these little these office rooms where he's just talking to about to these people about what he's done wrong because in the beginning of the movie he hacks the net or whatever. I think it was he hacks the Harvard University network, and that causes him to get I don't know, he doesn't get arrested, but he does a bad thing where he is sued because later he's working with these other guys who later sue him for taking an idea, because the idea was that he was going to work for them, but turns out that he actually had a better idea. They end up trying to. I think they end up suing him. It's the whole movie is kind of confusing. It gets a really dang confusing. The entire movie. I think I get the basic concept of it, but most of the movie I just have no idea what's going on because it doesn't make any sense. Just because it goes so fast and it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I mean, I know what the characters' motives are. I know that slowly each character, turns on Mark. I think you have Eduardo, who's one of his best friends, played by Andrew Garfield. He turns on him eventually after finding out what really happened. I don't really know the whole story about what happened really, but it's really interesting because a lot of the movie doesn't make any sense. It's really just literally random stuff in the movie that just happens. Random monologue in the movie that doesn't make any sense at all, and I didn't really understand that. I mean, most of it I did. I will deny it. I liked a lot of it. I able to understand a lot of it about what the idea of it was, but a lot of it didn't really make sense to me. I got the idea of it, but that was about it. There was other characters in the movie that I recognize as well. In terms of on the casting, there was these two girls that showed up, and one of them became the actor who played or the actor who I think Sean Parker was his name. I don't really know who he really is about, but basically Brenda Song, who if you don't know her, she was in the Sweet Like Zack and Cody. I think also the spin-off sequel show thing on deck, and she's this Asian descent actress, and she was in the movie. She's just this attractive girl that becomes Sean Parker's girlfriend, apparently. Things happen like that. It's crazy. And there's also Bill Gates in the movie too, which is cool, but which makes sense because Facebook and Microsoft aren't one and the same, but I feel like they work. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't even know why Bill Gates was in the movie. Well, not the actual actor, no, but someone played Bill Gates because it was a different voice. But yeah, I honestly I liked Jesse Eisenberg. He's a great actor. He's one of my, well, I wouldn't really call him my favorite actor, but I like his work. I like the stuff he's in. A lot of the stuff. Although there's one movie that I can't say I liked him in. It was Batman vs Superman. That movie sucked. So well, not completely sucked, but it has a lot of fucking issues. And that movie with him in it, just him and that movie don't go together. So he did actually a lot of other movies that I really enjoyed. He's also done voice roles in Rio, and quite a lot of other movies like that. But notably in this movie, which was a very cool movie, the way that the movie played out, because it's literally kind of like the same thing they did with Jobs, the Ashton Kutcher one, not the Michael Fassbender one, the Ashton Kutcher one, which is literally started from nothing in an apartment and building things. Where it's in this scenario, they're a bunch of guys building a website where the original idea was, like I said before, they had a dating site where they're comparing the hottest of girls, which one's more beautiful than this one, and eventually they had an idea about, oh, we could have a social media platform and that's be cool, and it's basically that. And I honestly think it was a good movie. I don't really know much about Mark Zuckerberg, honestly. I don't. I mean, I know who he is, but that's about it. I know he invented Facebook. That's pretty much it. But I felt like in the beginning of the movie, which is a very, very interesting conversation. It was between his girlfriend at the time, but the actress who plays her is Rooney Mara, and she plays this the girlfriend of Mark Zuckerberg, and they have this really interesting conversation. I don't really know what I think it's about, like the Harvard University or whatever you call it. I don't really know what the whole conversation. I it doesn't make any sense because of the fact that Jesse Eisenberg talks so fucking fast. But yeah, yeah, overall, this movie was actually really good. I'm glad I chose it. I'm glad I saw it. It's a good movie. One of the really interesting things about this movie, not just the idea of the a biography movie about the creation of Facebook, but also using double actors. You have Armie Hammer who plays twins, and most movies nowadays, I don't really think that happens a lot. One day you have like two characters that you play, but for example, Harry Potter, where you have the Weasleys, but they're actually played by two different actors who are in real life twins. But in this movie, they didn't do that. They actually, well, not everyone in the world has twins. But with this one, I think it's a technique in digital effects where you can have the same actor play the same role. You can even have them in the same room talking to each other in the same scene, and they were able to duplicate Armie Hammer so that he could be the same. He could be playing two different roles, but they're like the brothers, like two brothers who are basically they invented the original idea of Facebook, and I think Mark Zuckerberg in the movie he actually expands upon the idea. Like he makes it better. I think at one point I got kind of lost, but eventually I kind of understood the reason why they were suing. I think they were trying to sue Mark Zuckerberg was because he he was working with them, and then he eventually just decided, oh, I have a better idea of how to make this website, so I'll make a better idea, and it'll pretty much be I'm basically taking their idea, or at the idea of it. So it was interesting because Armie Hammer plays two brothers who are identical, and apparently that you can do that. There's an effect in digital effect where you can actually make an actor look, have two different versions, have the same, like two versions of that same actor. Like you'll have you'll have an actor who plays the same, like two different roles, or their brothers. It's confusing anyway. But that was a really cool thing about the movie itself, and I liked it. I really liked it. The movie itself was a very interesting idea for like a biography, because I've only seen a few of them. I've only seen like a few biographies about the inventions of different companies or whatever. Like Facebook is obviously a company, so that invention. It was I mean I think my favorite part about this movie would have to be just the evolution of what started in I think a dorm room or whatever to an actual company with offices and everything. That was really cool, and seeing the scenes where you see all the different you have like these boards where you have the menu here, the page login here, all that stuff, and just showing how Mark is so smart. The fact that he knows how to code really fast and he knows how to do everything like that. It's a really cool part about the movie that I really liked. But I actually thought the casting was actually really good. I've only seen this a couple of times, but I still enjoyed it. It was good because you have Mark Zuckerberg, played by Jesse Eisenberg, who, well, he isn't very good with girls, and he wants to create a website, and he ends up becoming really rich. And at the end of the movie, I find out that he becomes one of the youngest billionaires in the world, which is crazy. Yeah, I mean, to see him kind of go through that stage of evolution where he such an idea that it becomes a company thing, kind of like with that Ashton Kutcher Steve Jobs movie. It's crazy. It's really interesting, and I like that. So that's all I can say about The Social Network. It's a very good movie. Had some really good actors in it, and overall it tells a really good story. A story that you really wouldn't really know, because I don't really see any movies out there that really do a lot of showing the invention of certain things, or the like certain billionaires or whatever. I mean, I'm sure there are some out there, but I don't really see them a lot. So anyway, that does it for this review. I think I've made all my points about why this movie's good. It's good. That's all I can say. And I would rate it a, oh boy, 9 out of 10. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Reviewed. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button. I really do appreciate the support. And if you're new to this channel, subscribe for more episodes of this series and other series I do, as well as other great content. And I'll be back next time with another episode. Alright? See ya.